Alright, we're now live. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's live stream where I'm playing around with Tonemappers. So I found out that the ACES equation is pretty simple. Just follow this link. Actually, wait, let me copy that into the chat if you want to take a look at it. But with this, it is the ACES Tonemapper. So I put it into Blender, and turns out it works out pretty well. So, for a little explanation, by default, Blender has a few just to preface this, this is an experiment. I could have this totally wrong, but I'm just playing around. Blender has like AGX, Filmic, and all that good stuff. But people have been saying, oh, ACES, ACES, ACES. And then randomly I stumbled upon a post that had just different tone mappers. So here's just the standard. Actually, wait, I need to switch this to standard so that the compositor tone mappers can work. This is in Blender 4.5, and this is just going through the compositor, which is set to always right here so that we can actually see the results. So make sure you have that on if you're going to try this. So just with a simple tone mapper, we can see that the clamping is not nearly as bad, but we can see that the colors have they're oversaturated when they're bright, which I need to make sure I didn't screw anything up. But internally, all this is doing is changing the input to be a negative, doing exponent set to E, which that's the number E. Is that, yeah, that's Euler's number, I think. Yeah. And then you go and invert the result again by 1, and then that'll give you some pretty basic tone mapping, but just make sure that parts aren't blown out. So that's that. We can see over there it looks absolutely awful. You do that, and then that helps out quite a bit. And then with just the ACES curve, without the color compensation, we can see that it makes sure that the background isn't blown out, but the colors here are a bit too saturated. So if we go into here, we can see that it's a bit more complicated. It just and that is just the ACES curve without taking into account the proper colors. So I forgot where I got this from, but that is that. And then the ACES cinematic one, which is from Shader Toy, which I highly recommend you take a look at. It's quite cool. This one has the proper color range where things get less saturated as you go up. But unlike with AGX, which AGX is technically better, it feels a bit washed out even if you use punchy. So I guess it's just personal preference at this point. But as we can see, the colors are a lot more vibrant by default. But if we go into here, we can see that, oddly enough, it's not as, well, at least from a node standpoint, it doesn't look as bad as the other one. But it relies on matrix multiplication, which I didn't know it was that simple. So for those of you who don't know, with this matrix multiplication setup, ignore this part. This part is unnecessary for this setup. I just made it so that you can invert the order and all that fun stuff. But you basically take your color or vector, dot product it with all the axes, combine x, y, z from the dot product, send it out, and you're good. So that's what this is doing, and this one as well. That's what that's doing. All these values are just specific to the ACES input. I don't know why they are that way, but they just are. And then you just go and do this bit of math, and then it'll send it through. So yeah, that's good. And then that's just ACES. I should also mention that this is going to be a quick stream. I hope it'll be done in under 30 minutes or under 15 minutes if I can do that right. Just because there's not too much to go over and I have stuff to do. But yes, I just want to get this out there because it's a fun little experiment, and maybe it could be useful to some people. But yeah, I want to try, like, I wonder what AGX would look like. Actually, should I look that up now? That might take a while to get right. I'm gonna look it up right now. So, AGX, Tonemapper. Actually, let's see if it's on Shader Toy. That would be a bit easier to... no, it is not on Shader Toy. That is unfortunate. Let's see. Just doing a quick little search. This is not too much. Let's see. I'm trying to find the equation. Yeah, no. Okay, well, I'll say that for later. But yeah, with this, I didn't know that when I heard about like tone mappers and color transforms, for some reason my brain didn't connect the dots that it's just a literal color transform using a matrix. But I should have expected that. I've been dealing with matrices for so long now, I should have just known that. But again, I am not a compositor. I just stick with the geometry side of the math. But yeah, that's that. So let's try this out on another scene. So here we have... Ooh, the lighting is looking a bit rough over there. Oh, that's the shadow. Ah, right. That explains a lot. So let's go to the other camera and take a look at this. We can see that it looks a might bit drab. It does lower the overall values here, which I'm a little surprised by. But let's go and switch this to AGX with absolutely nothing else happening. And then here's the gamma contrast, which I think it does the same thing as the brightness contrast. So if we do this, we can take a look at that, and it goes up, down, you know. Yeah, no, bright contrast, yep. Or, wait, does it have a slightly different result? I think it has the same result, but just the slider values are a bit different. Interesting. Oh yeah, no, it's slightly different, okay. But yeah, that's just there in case I want to play around with it. But yeah, what else should I test this on? So we can see the colors are... Oh wait, that's because I had AJAX still enabled. I need to stop doing that. Though, then again... Okay, yeah, that did change a few things. So in this case, since it is a little bit darker, I would just go and turn up the brightness by a little bit to make it match. Gamma node? Oh, right. Gamma... No. Gamma... Color adjust gamma. Ah, right, there we go. Forgot about that. So if we set both of these to 2, it should give the exact same result. And it does not. Okay. Maybe I got this... I forgot where... I think I got this from a tweet a few days ago. But I think I probably did it wrong. So let's just ignore that for the time being. Let's just bring that back. Yeah, I might have done that incorrectly. Yeah, we can see in this scene with just standard, again, everything is super blown out, especially at bright values. But then if we do this, it just brings it down, makes it a bit better. And then again with AGX, while it is technically better, things just get very, very washed out. Which again, just personal preference, what you want to go with. With this part right here... Alright. Oh yeah, that looks quite good. Maybe a bit too saturated. Okay. Yeah, what happens if I... Alright, that does that, that does that. Oh, that's cool. I'm just gonna play around a little bit with this. Yeah, and this was just a little experiment that I think people would kind of like to see. Because again, I don't know what these values actually do. Like, I know this is a color transform. And I assume that either this is transforming it one way and then inverting it. But I'm not sure. Maybe a little bit. Why do you have the color output of that node group as a vector? Is it to avoid value clipping? No, it's just because this only deals with vectors. The alpha is not included, so it makes... more technical sense to show that, hey, the input is a vector and the output is a vector, while with a regular image, if we go and separate the color, we can see that this has an alpha. Well, with this, it just gets thrown out. So, I could make it so that the alpha is kept. And actually, that might be a good idea, come to think of it. I could just make it, oh yeah, no, I could do that. I could make it so that, yeah, let's do that really quickly. So I could change this to be a color value, which has 4 floats. We do that, and then we, how do we do this the right way? So this gets on, this will take out the alpha channel, and then I just need to do this at the end here, and then combine color. Yeah, that's not too bad. Wait, is there a set alpha? Ah, there is. Okay. Apply mask, replace alpha. There we go. So I could just do that so that it'll replace the alpha channel. Then there we go. And that's good. We just separate the alpha and do that. So now if we do this, we can see the alpha channel, which should not exist unless I turn on the film transparent. Wait, what? Oh, right. Yep, there we go. Now we can see that that works quite well. And then I would just have to do that for all of these as well, but I still think that this one is probably broken, so we'll just go and ignore that for now. So yeah, for these, yeah, pretty simple, not too bad. So it is an option. Oh, that's cool, how the color board changes. Very cool, very nice. Let's go and delete the viewer, and then we can just take a look at this. So yeah, that is nice. Let's see, have you tried changing the internal color space from Rec 709 to Rec 2020? I think it's in the 5.0 alpha. That improves the blown out colors in AGX a bit. I have not tried that yet. I did see that, is that part of like the ACES 2.0 format? Which doesn't include the color transform, if I'm correct. But it does help with some of the colors at high values, I heard. But I could be wrong about that. Let's see. I just want to say your content inspired a lot of my work in these past 2 years. Thank you, I learned a lot from you. Hey, I'm glad. I'm glad I could be an inspiration. Also, on a side note, I hope you all enjoyed that little Blender conference talk by my supervisor, Joel Prager. Which, that was cool to see. I also appreciated the little shout out and everyone clapping, which was a fun little thing. I do need to make it to the Blender conference. If I really stressed myself a little bit, or not stressed, but scheduling wise, if I made my schedule a lot tighter, I probably could have made it this year, which I regret a little bit, but it would have been a real pain to get there with everything I have to do nowadays. But it would have been cool. It would have been cool. Let's see. I still don't get fully what all those color transforms are and what they're used for. So basically, let's go back to standard and show this. Here we can see that the colors here at bright values don't look great. We can see that the pink here seems very clamped, and then there's a very little bit of blue, and then it goes to here and it goes to there. And this is simply because the color values are going above what the display or the color format can show. So it's being clamped, which is not great. In real life, when you have a camera, it does not clamp like that. Or it depends on how your camera captures and all that. But basically in Blender, since the values are linear, they get clamped, which is not great. So there are color transforms to compensate for this. As we can see here, it just becomes like more white as it goes up to mimic what our eyes see or what cameras see. So if we go and take a look at this, there are several color transforms. Filmic has been my favorite for a while, even though for bright values, I just need to compensate a little bit with that, because at bright values, it still fully saturates, which is not great. But with that, it looks pretty good. AGX is newer, and this one is technically the most accurate from what I've heard, but the colors get very washed out, which I assume is compensated for with lookup tables or just boosting the saturation. But in Blender, I really like the just plug and play aspect of Filmic, so I usually go with that one. And then there's Chronos, PBR neutral, which, oh, that deals with the colors quite well. Wow. It also looks very contrasty. Let me make sure I don't have anything else going on. So with this one, from what I know, I haven't used it much because the colors get really saturated and it gets very contrasty. So it might be a bit much. But I heard this was to make color, like product colors more accurate. Like when you're working with a client and they need very specific colors or a different like product theme or something like that, you need accurate colors. So with this one, I heard it's to do that without, actually, why is that so desaturated? Without ruining the colors with all of that. That's because it's that much brighter. It's half, wait, why is it half transparent? I did not mean for that to happen. Uh-oh. That was an accident. Well, that's why we do these live streams, to figure out why the heck things are not working as I originally intended. Alright, well that's better. Yeah. Dang, that's weird. So again, back to AGX, very washed out, Chronos is like that. Filmic log, I honestly forgot what that does, but I assume it is just filmic and then on a logarithmic scale. And then false color, this is to see if parts are overexposed, which we can see here. Things are very overexposed right here by design. And then raw is just the raw color values, which this is another part where I forgot the math behind it. I forgot if this is supposed to be raw being put into this. No, it's not. It's supposed to be standard. Okay. But yeah, raw and standard have different functions. I forget, is this in the standard Rec 709? I forget. Oh, actually, no, that's there. Oh, wait. Rec 2020 is here. Oh, no, wait, no. That's something different. I need to brush up on this. It's been quite a while. And again, I'm not a compositor. I have so much respect for compositors because they are magicians. They make movies look really, really good. Where without them, it would look like, well, what my renders look like. Just standard, fresh out of Blender stuff. But yes. I think that's everything. We're at 17 minutes, so maybe I'll go and wrap up the stream now, because I do not have a lot of time on my hands. But I wanted to get this out there. So again, we have that and that. Just look at the difference when the colors are properly compensated for. And the cinematic one is so much simpler, in theory. I could just go... I do dislike having multiple inputs for simple nodes like this, but it works out just fine here. Keep it simple. And yes, all that is good. Oh, I'm surprised that that doesn't have RGBA. Oh, no, because, yeah, the alpha is just handled separately. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, so we have all of that. That works out well. Now, all these are just singular float values, but since we have to use vector math, it's like that. I could add in just regular value nodes and call that a day, which probably would be even simpler. So if I did this... just have these nice constant values. Make sure nothing's duplicate. Oh, it's H, not Control X. So we have that. We have that. Oh yeah, that makes it a bit better. Let's make it even more compact. Ah, very nice. And then right here, let's make sure it's all the same. Oh yeah, that saves on space and saves on it looking absolutely massive. Here we go. That is not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, maybe, should I put this up on my Gumroad? I'm not sure if people would appreciate that. Should probably convert a few more into Blender if that's the case. Actually, with compositor presets coming out soon, by using multiply not scale. Oh yeah, here I could use scale, but since I'm using a multiply up here, it's fine. It's fine. Are you making your own ACES transform? No. This is directly copied from the link above, the shader toy one, which is just quite good. But yeah, it's trying to get ACES into Blender. Again, this is a test. It's not like superficial. I don't fully know the math behind this. Just a nice little experiment. But I guess for the end of this experiment, let's go and test this on some other project files. So let me go and append this into another scene, which let's go and append. 1 second, everyone, as I go and try to that. Where the heck did I put that thing? Ah, I was accidentally searching in my 2024 projects instead of 2025. That's the ACES cinematic. Yeah, but let's go with that. So it's almost ready to. Oh, this is one caveat that I need to mention with this as I was trying to use this. Also, EVNext has come a long way. I would use this file as my test file for EVNext versus EV Legacy, and this scene was so slow in EVNext when it first came out, but now it plays back in real time, which is very nice. Very, very nice. There are still a few. Actually, wait a second. I need to make sure that all the settings are right. Film. Nope. I need to go to ray tracing. Nope, that's correct. That needs to be set to 2. But yeah, some of the results, like, there seems to be a bit of light leaking still, but again, EVNext, things have gotten a lot better since it was first released. So let's go and use the cinematic view transform, the ACES cinematic view transform. Let's change this back to standard, which, as we can see, it is a bit much. AGX looks like that, which is very drowned out. So again, standard, and then we put that into there. Let's go and turn on compositor always, and we can see that things are very oversaturated. And I think this might just be a result of the way I initially set up the scene. Because, yeah, the ground is just a bit too saturated. Also, glass is still very, very blurry in this case. Do I need to turn it down even more? Ooh, that is some cool artifacting right there. Whoops. There we go. Cool artifacting. There we go. But yes, if I were to go into the ground, which I did not label, oh, I am a genius, then we turn this down a bit to make it kind of match. Saturation, let's just bring it down until it's a bit better. Yeah, there we go. So if I don't have it fully saturated, it looks a lot better, which I guess is a really good thing, because quite often with setups I have, they just look too desaturated. And since I am lazy and have not made a saturation boost setup, which I really should do, just so that's compatible with all the other ones, yeah, I should get on that. Let's check this in cycles. GPU compute. Ah, the fog. But yeah, we can see how, this is still a thing with EVNext that's quite different. The glass looks so different between the two, just in terms of the colors. Like here we can see this is more of an orangey hue, and then with this one it is very, very yellow. But this one matches more with the color that we see there, so maybe it's like an indirect lighting thing. So I just need to compensate for that, and that looks good. But still, this feels blown out still. Oh, and I'm boosting that and there. That makes sense. So here we have that and that. Some things still feel... Actually, compared to it being off, like, we can see that that's very blown out, that's very blown out. Yeah, that works fine. But yes, I do enjoy that. This scene still looks pretty good. And for the bottom part here, it's all procedural textures. One procedural noise texture, which I'm still surprised it works so well. As we can see here, just that, color ramp, put it into a bump node. Hey, that looks really good. I need to use that setup more often. Because I thought originally I would have separated the hue and then ping-ponged it, but in this case, it's just the saturation. I just inverted this, which I could have used a 1-, but I think I was fine-tuning the results. But all in all, that looks pretty good. And it's not even inverted. Just to the power of 2. With that, change this to be negative. What does that look like? Nothing great. Change that to be negative. Oh, even that could look good if I go and tone it down. I think I need to use these more often. Like, look at that. That looks a lot like rocks. Like, you usually don't see noise look like that. Not usually with that pattern. And roughness is set to point. Wow. I'm just a little impressed with myself. Oh, how about that? Dang. That looks like proper dirt. Let's go and set that to be a negative. Now that part, yeah, that one needs a bit more oomph to it. Actually, that looks worse than the alternative. It is a bit too bumpy, but I'm also kind of seeing a, like, directional part to that. Okay, we're almost at 30 minutes. I will have to close the stream very, very soon. But yeah, look at that. Wow. Wow. I know I keep saying that, but yeah, no. -1. How about that? Let's go and set this to be regular noise because I want to check. Yeah, no. While that does look quite good. Uh-oh. Excusez-moi. Yeah. Well, that looks okay. Actually, wait a second. Okay, so that just makes it way more apparent. Then that's like that. Ah, okay. So if I just don't, if I eliminate that, that's a bit better. And then I can fine tune it without the negative power. And then that. Yeah, no, wow. That is prime for a lava texture. Alright, I'm just gonna do this for a little bit. Let's go and set that to be there. We'll go and use you, but use my LG light fall off. Which this setup is so funny. I made it like 5 years ago or something. Just because it made really nice gradients. And it just works. It's worked so well. I've used it for cinematic purposes. And for personal work. Let's see. So if we go and do that. Go and do, oh, this is, I'm cooking. Like, look at that. That's pretty good. Go and do that. Oh my gosh. Well, that took... Oh. I keep surprising myself. Can do that, which does a bit of that, which I think that's a bit too much. Restrain that. It looks more like lava rock. We can add in a little bit of purple. I think changing the scale to be like 0.5 would be good. Yeah, look at that. And if we turn up the noise value, it starts to degrade a little bit. And if we look at that, yes. That's how I remember the saturation looking. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Pretty good. So if you ever want your Lego spacecraft to go over lava rocks, that's how you do it. Then I could also use the noise. Let's just use the value for the roughness. Use it to its full capacity. Bit much there, if I'm being honest. So let's go and turn that up. Nope. Turn this down a bit. We just need a bit of variation. Yeah, that's pretty good. Few adjustments. Now, again, the noise is too frequent right here, but if you just look at it through the camera, it's fine. Maybe 0.75. And there we have it. That is pretty good. Pretty good. are a bit more round. Can also add in some distortion. Make the magma look a little bit warped. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's go and delete that. Remove, whoops. Remove that from the frame. Go and take that out. I'm not gonna save this, but that's yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty cool. And then I can disable the, nope, not the displace texture. Where are these particles coming from? Oh, these are the nice little crystals. I forgot. And why do I have the, oh, that must be a conversion difference. Yeah, just like that. That's pretty good. Okay, so again, to wrap up the stream, wait, why does the texture, oh, this is UV mapped. Okay. Yeah, with the color transform off, I know I got very distracted, but again, things look rather blown out. That looks like that. And then with AGX, things look a bit, you know, washed out, even with punchy. Again, it's up to personal preference. And then Filmic looks like that, which is fine. But who knows, maybe I'll try to use this ACES color transform a bit more often. The sky, we need to change the sky color real quick. Change this to be a nice looking shader editor. Nice looking red because we're on a lava planet. Oh, that is just not connected. Nice looking red, but the volumes, that's one of the issues here. So where is the volume cube? There you are. I had that changing over time, so let's go and change that to be... Oh, it could be an ice planet too. Or actually, that looks quite cool. Okay, so that's everything for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Let's take a look at the internals real quick again. Again, follow this link, which is in the chat, to take a look at it. And yeah, matrix multiplication. All you need is this part. You don't need that part. You just need that. Take a good look at it. And then all this. So yeah, works out pretty well. Yes, so thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one.